This is the network to be in for conscious female entrepreneurs.
Hello, gorgeous people of the We Are Alpha Femme membership. I'm so excited to see you today. This is our Stages of Wealth call, and we're going with the 20K month stage. I'm so excited to see that some of you that were speakers on the 10K month stage are here with us present today to share the vibes. Thank you for being here. So this, for me, this call has a very special meaning for me specifically. So before we get started with our incredible speakers, I want to kind of set the groundwork for this call. And I do also want to say that we had so many incredible people who presented themselves for this 20K milestone. And it was difficult to pick because there were so many great stories, but the 3 people I chose, I just felt it in my body that these were the right people for this call. So if you weren't chosen, I just want you to know I love you, I appreciate you, I celebrate you. Congratulations for everything you did. And who knows, maybe there'll be more opportunities in the future, but I really went with my heart and I chose the people I felt were the ones that were supposed to be on this call. So followed my heart on this one. Now, this is such an important milestone in my life. It holds codes. And the reason it holds codes is because I have a fundamental belief that if you can make $20,000 a month, you can make $1 million. I have in the same year. Like, if you can make $20,000 a month, you can make $1 million within 12 months. Like, I have this belief. And because I've had this belief, I have worked with so many clients who have skyrocketed from $20,000 months to $1 million in a year and beyond. And I think the reason I believe this, it's so simple and it's so silly, but a lot of the times in life, there's this like, if I can do it, you can do it kind of energy. And the year that I made $20,000 a month in January, I ended the year with $1 million right before midnight. And it was a quantum leap. It was a huge jump, but something happened when I started touching that multiple 5-figure month. It was like 10K was quite difficult for me, quite challenging to get my mind there. 6 figures a year was like tough enough. And in 10K months felt like I needed to be some sort of genius in order to hit that. And so I struggled with my identity a lot at the 10K months. To double the thing I never thought I could do unlocked something in the quantum field. For those of you who've studied deeper with me in things like manifestation equation or exponential wealth or quantum prosperity, where I talk about the 3 fields that came through for me, the predictability, possibility, potentiality, what I realized is that 20K months unlocked the field of potentiality because it was doubling an amount I didn't even think was possible. So when you double the impossible, you enter the God zone. And that's what happened for me. And so I'm excited for those of you who are nearing 20K and are going to hear this and are going to be like, okay, I'm so close. And I think I'm calibrating to this. I'm excited for those of you who are so far from this, but after what I've just said are just like, bring the $20,000 a month. I'm ready for this. And I'm also very excited for those of you who've been at 20K who want to borrow this mindset of mine, which is like, if I've made 20K, I can make $1 million, Melanie. I'm in. I'm taking your mindset and I'm going to millions. So I'm excited for everybody on this call is basically what I'm saying. There's a lot of powerful frequency about this number. And so if you can feel it in your body more than in your mind, if you were making $20,000 a month, you would be making almost $250,000 a year. This is like brain surgeon money. This is huge wealth. And a lot of times people discredit, it's only 20K a month. It's like, that's $250,000 a year. There are people who study for a decade and don't make that money. Like you really got to understand the huge power that it takes for a person to make $20,000 a month. And so all 3 of the women that are going to be presenting today have done this. And their stories are amazing. And I'm just so excited to present them to you. So we are going to get started with Samantha. She's going to be our first speaker. So Samantha, if Alpha Femme team can help me unmute Samantha, that would be awesome. Hello, gorgeous.
Hi, everyone.
I'm so excited you're here. So first of all, I want to celebrate with Samantha. Samantha is in the Alpha Femme experience with me. She's absolutely amazing. I stalk her profile from time to
Oh,
time because she's not the most vocal in the Alpha Femme experience. She's more like she studies and she just pays attention to her own thing. But I love the way she is as a person. And when
oh.
she put herself forward for this, I was like, this is an opportunity for me to speak to her since she very rarely puts her hand up. So let's get her on here.
Oh my gosh. Okay. First time speaking with you like live, Melanie. Thank you. Wow. Okay. Do I go into my story a little bit?
Yes,
Okay.
tell us what you feel pulled to start with.
Okay. I started in financial services when I was 22 years old. So back in 2013, I'm 35 now. And I did not know I was getting a sales job, to tell you the truth. I like didn't know it was a sales job that I said yes to. And it was hard, I will say, my first 7 to 8 years, because I was 22 in my early 20s talking to people about their money. Like and I just was struggling every December trying to hit contract, and every client I gained, I felt in my body, I was like, I can't leave these people behind because there's a over 90% fail rate in your first year in financial services in the US. I do life insurance, retirement investments, and I was so stubborn to not quit. And when I was 25, an older man came up to me and he was like, Little lady, you just stick in this career and you will thank yourself later." And my mom and granddad also did financial services. They've done it all their life, 40 years each. My mom's still working. So my mom was like, "Don't go into the financial services world, honey. Go find something." I wanted to train horses all my life. I still ride, play polo, and love it. I'm thankful. Oh my gosh, my business now allows me to work only like 3 or 4 hours a day. I have my 15-month-old baby. I play polo. Like, it's an expensive sport, but it's like my yes money. It's what, like, it lights me up. I'm still nervous. I was totally not nervous. And as soon as the call started, I was like, ah.
The
And
energy of this milestone, I'm telling you, I was feeling it too. It took me 10 minutes to get ready for it. I was feeling butterflies and nauseous. I was like, what is going on? There's a big energy in this call. So I think you're tapping into what I'm feeling.
thank you. And yeah, so every client that I gained, I was like, I cannot, like, so many people leave the industry. And I was like, a lot of the clients I gained were friends. And I was like, I need to grow with these people. I need to stick around for them and not leave them behind and leave them in the orphan program, is what our business calls it. So I just kept going, and too stubborn to quit, tears, frustration, like sadness. But then something happened in the year 7 to 8, and I just started to like gain more clients and more traction. And 2019 was I hit a 24K month. It was completely out of the blue. All of the other months were like, way under 10K. Never, like, maybe I hit close to 10K, but it just like 24K. And what happened? It was a client that wasn't originally mine. They were orphans. They were someone else's client, and they called into the office, and the office picked me as the advisor to meet with them. And they did a beneficiary change. That was it. I just took care of their policy. I serviced it. And then they came under my system, where I saw there was something that, like, there was an opportunity for them to do something with their policies. So all I did was I took the assumption out. I just emailed them, "Hey, these are big business owner guys." And I was like, "Hey, y'all have this opportunity in your policies. Would you like to look at this?" And in my brain, I used to think with my money, my level of what I was making. Like, I didn't think people could spend. Like, I took away that assumption that people, like, I let people spend what they want on the services I provide, kind of thing. It's a
Yes.
little weird thing too. I know I'm bouncing around, but also
No,
becoming.
but I'm making notes. If I'm looking down, it's because
Oh,
there's things I want to bring back after. So just keep bouncing. I'll bring us
okay.
back to center after.
Thank you. Becoming a mom, I've become so much more organic and go with the flow with my business. Freaking love how you talked about, like, you don't follow up with your people. My business is all about follow up, and it always felt icky to me as a projector, still icky after 13 years of doing this. Like, I'm just like, people, like, I don't want to bother people. And so, like, I just let things go. And I tell you, when I'm on the horses on the open field riding, and I'm like, I love my life, I'm so blessed, I'll have like an email come in from a client. well, like when I get back home. It's that kind of stuff. And it's just amazing. And so I think that, and you know, the chicken list, I used to be afraid of calling big people, but my mom always said they put their pants on the same way. And like, and then in June of 20, so April 2019, so that was 7 years into the business, 24K a month. June 2022, I didn't have another 20K a month till 3 years later, was a 20K a month. And then October of 2024, last year, was a 21K month, almost a $47,000 month. But the client that added to it roll over to next month. So November of last month or last year, I apologize, was a $33,000 month. That was my first one. So I've had only 130, but it's like, oh, I've always had like lots of teen money years, like 13K, 16K, 19K, but then I've hit 20K 3 times. And I think that yeah, I don't know.
I love this story so much. So there's so many things I want to bring forward about this. So the first one is the energetics of for me, for you, for us. So you'll notice in Samantha's story, she had already taken on not just making money for herself, but actually making sure that the people that she was doing business with didn't fall through the cracks.
Mm,
As soon as you do that, you enter into a new realm of money. It's not just I'm trying to be rich, it's I'm responsible for something that's bigger than me. As soon as you energetically take that on, not from a place of fear or necessity, but from a place of purpose, you open your energetic field financially. As soon as I took on like the coaching industry during the pandemic, or the online world of online entrepreneurs during the pandemic, people who could make money from home that didn't need to close their practices. As soon as I took that on, like I could help the online world survive this pandemic. As soon as I took on a mission that was bigger than me, not because I needed to, but because it was purpose work, I expanded my magnetism in the world. I expanded the light that people see. And I feel like that's something that you did. Because what I love about it, like proof of concept of this immediately, is the first client that helped you make that $20,000 month was one of those orphan clients that people call, which is someone who falls through the cracks. And it was your mission written in your heart to not let people fall through the cracks.
yeah.
And so, of course, if the universe is going to orchestrate that and is going to put one person in the field to help the people who fell through the cracks, who's it going to be? It's the person who's genuinely in soul alignment with that mission. Now, when the money's on the table, everyone raises their hand. Oh, yes, me. I'm all about this. I don't want anyone to fall through the cracks. But before the opportunity is there, where all you feel is a little bit of feelings, a little bit of feelings, and there's no reward, but you're still willing to feel all of those feelings for no reason, then the reward comes, and it's like you were willing to feel for it, and then you received it. So I think that that is a huge code for you to continue to really anchor into that identity of like, I'm the one who makes sure no one falls through the cracks. That is going to keep bringing in new people for you. The other thing, though, that I really love is the shoulder to shoulder energy of like, they put their pants on, same as everybody else. As soon as you were willing to go and really message the people that most people have been like, oh, can't message those people, they're better than me, they make more money. As soon as you just served the people, you broke the hierarchy that makes a lot of people stuck financially, because a lot of the people that have the money to pay for our services at first make more money than us. And so if we can't serve people who make more money than us, something's blocked. And so to say shoulder to shoulder, I can serve you. I'm letting go of this like pedestal around money, and I'm saying I have something for you. You have something for me, but I have something for you. And really breaking that open, such a powerful code. The next one, obviously, is energetics, talking about how when you're on the horse, living your best life, that's when very often you're going to get a ping. Now, why this is so big and so important is that you could have just decided, look, my real passion in life is riding horses. My mom told me not to get this job. I should do something that I love. Let me figure out how to get paid for riding horses instead. But now you do get paid for riding horses.
That's cute. Yeah.
Now you do your passion, and when you're the most lit up and the most in the God zone, bing, who you can serve comes through. And so for a lot of people listening to you who have professions that are not necessarily their greatest passion, but they're really good at it, and they have a heart connection to serving in that profession, It's like, do your profession with all of your heart, be in the God zone with your passions, and watch your clients find you when you're riding on your horse with the wind in your hair. And the last thing I wanted to bring forward from what you talked about was the people and their power. And so this is a big concept in the Exponential Wealth program when I talked about money is people and their power. And so what we're actually manifesting, and most people don't like this, but it's like this is the truth. What we're manifesting is people. People are the reason you get an upgrade. People are the reason you get a discount. People are the reason you get in for free. People are the reason you get a client. People are the reason. People are the reason. And so if you move the shoulder to shoulder thing, if you care deeply, all of a sudden you become an energetic match for a different kind of people. And so what I feel happened here is you became an energetic match for the kind of people who could move one transaction and make you $20,000.
Oh, yeah.
And the more you align with those kinds of people who make one move in their life and the ripple for you is higher cash months than you could ever possibly imagine. And it comes from a deep place of serving, you're in the God zone. And when you're not gripping onto that, trying to find those people, trying to get them to choose you, when you're in energetic alignment with your truth, you spend time with your passion in the God zone, you're shoulder to shoulder with them, you believe in their power and you're willing to serve, this is when the energetics start to really pull into your world. So I have loved everything you've shared so far, like taking notes ferociously, like I've got to bring this back, I've got to bring this back.
Can I say I never connected that? The 33K month I had last year, that was the easiest money the easiest big money I've ever made. And so was the first 24K month. Those people were like ready to buy. They were just like, tell me what my options are. I want that. And like the client in 2024, he was like, what does 4,000 a month look like? What does 6,000 a month look like? No, 3,000. Let's do 4,000 a month. And I'm just an order taker. And I'm like, I know I'm in financial services, so I get to build a plan for some people, but some people I like being the order taker. Maybe it's projector side of me where I'm just like, tell me what you want and I will do it for you, kind of thing. So,
This
yeah.
is service. The frequency of service is one that really transcends power because it's like, I am willing to serve you, whether you make 20 times as much money as I do. But can I help you? A lot of times those codes get tangled for us. I don't know if I can help you if I'm not as good as you, but I can serve you. I can serve you if I don't make as much money, but I don't know if I can help you. Can I help you? Am I good enough to help you? So service is the frequency of the easiest non-hierarchy thing. I can serve the queen. I can serve my best friend. I can serve my mom. I can serve Kevin. I can serve you. Like I can serve anyone. There is no hierarchy at that point. But who I can help is often who I believe I have authority over, or who I believe I'm better than, or who I believe I'm more experienced than. And so when we move help to service, we also change the frequency of the way we're showing up, because I'm not trying to save you. I'm not helping you like there's something wrong with you. I'm serving you because I know what I'm doing and I can be of service to you. And so that frequency really made a big difference for me, really saying like, I look forward to serving you in this program. I look forward to serving you in this container. I look forward to being there. Like I will be there for you. I'm here for you. Doesn't matter who comes into my world, whether it's like a multi-million-dollar global brand or whether it's a person coming in that just wants to get started with their leadership. Like I can serve you. And the help sometimes gets confusing because it's like, am I good enough to help you? But serving comes from the heart. And I feel like that's a really cool gateway to move through. It moves the energetics, it's a cool little gateway through. So one thing I wanted to ask you is like, as far as mindset shifts, one thing that I really love what you just said is like the bigger months were actually the easier months. And this is something I see on the internet get misunderstood all the time. And I say this to my highest level clients, big money moves fast. Big money moves fast. Now, that sentence will mean different things to you all throughout your journey. But what I love about what Samantha just explained is you can see it from her lens. Big money moves fast. What it takes for a person to agree to an amount that's scary, how long they need to think about it. They're trying to do as least as possible. It takes a lot of clients to get to that monthly revenue. But one person that has a lot of money and a lot of power is going to want to move a lot of money with a lot of power. And so that action occurs quickly. Big money moves fast. So a lot of times people wonder, like, how do I become a match for people with more money? And this is where a lot of the crunchiness happens. How do I become a match for people with more money? Is I am willing to serve them. And the frequency of serving them is clean, because you're going to find a lot of people and you'll see it in the way they speak, in the way they are. What I'm trying to do is get them. How do I get clients instead of how do I serve clients? You tidy up the frequency, you change who's attracted to you, because people with a lot of power don't get gotten, but they're open to being served correctly by the right person. Change the frequency of your intention, call in a different kind of buyer. This I absolutely love from what you shared. The biggest months were actually the easiest months. Okay, so one of the things that I had also asked you that brought you here was, what did you stop believing that made a big difference? And I know you mentioned your mom's comment, which was like everyone puts their pants on with one leg at a time. Was there anything else you feel really helped you show up for those bigger clients in a way that kind of allowed you to serve them at that level?
Oh man, I think that like, so if I'll share this piece too, because this brings this up, is that on my own, I've gained like 500 clients. But in the last 5 years, 3 female agents that left the business or retired chose me as their successor. So I went from 500 clients to 1,700 clients. And so I feel it in my body already. This is so funny because I say this all the time, even to my clients. I'm very service oriented. I'm very detail oriented. I just like to take care of things and get things done for people. And I am, and I do get overwhelmed. And I have one assistant. And I loved how you said when you hit your first million on your own, right? Or then you hired, I think.
Yes.
So I'm like at a point where I'm like, oh, like, but it's like, I'm so thankful for my husband. He takes care of baby when I'm in the office working. But the, oh man, your question, I was wanting, I don't
Was
know.
there something else that came through for you to be able to serve those bigger people?
I, I think taking care, I kind of mentioned like taking care of all my people allowed me to just, and when I'm busy and when I became a mom, I had to like, I mean, it's the cliche thing to say, I had to prioritize my time and just like really like not add fluff to anything. I just was like kind of doing things and then just like serving people and just like I wasn't trying to get people anymore. I'm sorry to say, like my first 5 years of business, I was chasing people. I was following up with people. And I probably have some out of the thousands of prospects I've reached out to. I probably have some people that blocked me, even though I'm real sweet, but like
Even though I'm real sweet. I love that.
I'm probably really annoying. I was probably really annoying back then, but now I'm like, I feel it when I'm like even a coworker said, like I was doing joint work with another guy at the office and he was like, hey, you should probably call that client, just follow up with them. And I didn't feel like that was the right thing. I let it go. 5 days passed, the client emailed us. Like, I was like, see, it happens. They come back to you if they want it and, and just, so, I think that just taking care of, oh man, I just because that's so funny. You mentioned the other big month I had was from a client that was in the orphan program as well. So I think that's like my golden ticket somehow. It's like I like so and as that's the other thing too. I think I mentioned this in my notes. You never know when someone's lifestyle will change. Like you just keep just being there and doing your best. And like that's what I loved what you said. Just keep like I'm studying for designations and like my licensing and all my things all the time. And so I think that you just keep, I feel stunted kind of right now, like, and you just keep kind of doing your thing and like the elephants come and like you just keep taking care of all your little things.
Do you have a
Um,
6 line in your human design?
oh yeah, I'm a 4/6.
Okay, so we're going to go with storytelling because that's where you're the smoothest.
Okay.
6 line storyteller. So here's what we're going to do. And I want to bring something forward for you because this is really powerful, what's happening right now. And I want everyone to really notice this. it's not just that she attracted, like, oh, someone through the orphan program calls up and then it's like, who do we give this person to? And they're like, give them to Samantha. And she ends up having a 20K month or a 30K month. It's not just as easy as that. It's as easy as when people are complete and they're like, I don't want to do this anymore. When they have the intuition, the feeling, I don't want anybody to fall through the cracks. Who's the person that God tells them, if you don't want them to fall through the cracks, give them to Samantha? That is energetic alignment. That's what that's like. This is why I say you're going to wonder how to do it till you wonder how you did it, because it's like behind the scenes, what has Samantha been doing? She's been in vibrational alignment with serving. She's been truly dedicated to people not falling through the cracks. And in the God zone, she's been given all the people and the lists of people who would have fallen through the cracks had they not been served by the right person. Energetically, this is all happening behind the scenes. And what's so powerful is that you're given things when you're in alignment, you're given opportunities and you're given circumstances to sharpen your commitment. And so being given a small child and saying, look, you're going to have to be even more pristine with your energy, because you can't just be chasing people, calling people 7 times a week. You've got to make it that the people you speak to are paying you, like energetically. If you're working, you're being paid, and if you're not working, you're with your family. Like you've got to decide what's what. And so energetically saying, I'm not going to chase people. I'm going to be a beacon for the people to find me for the right reasons, not because I want to go drink margaritas on the beach and I don't care about my clients, because I want to serve my child. I want to be the mother that I want to be. I want to serve my partner. I want to be a partner in this relationship. I don't want to just be the career mom that gives everything to my partner. And I want to serve my clients. And am I really serving people that don't want to work with me by calling them 100 times? No, I'm not. So I am in the frequency of serving, which means actually working with the clients who are actually working with me, actually parenting my child, and actually being with my partner. Those 3 things. And that's the frequency. And when you're so clear in your energy and you don't falter, you attract things from the God zone. This is the powerful thing. And this is like real-time evidence, what we're being shown right now from Samantha's story. And it's so powerful. It's so incredible. Like she's chosen every time. She doesn't need to jump through hoops. She doesn't have to have any pick-me energy when people feel, who do I give this to in order for it to be taken care of? It goes right to Samantha, because the truth is she's there to serve. And I will say, like, you having one assistant right now and sometimes being overwhelmed, it's possible for you that you may need to get more assistants. You might need more than one assistant. And the energy behind that, when I hired a bigger team, a lot of people on the internet were like, you can make so much money with a little team. And I was like, you're right, but you can't serve the same way.
Oh, I feel that. And one of the other things too, I feel like I work for free a lot. Like I feel like I care too much, and I'll like spend an hour doing something for one client that makes me nothing. But at the same time, it's like I feel in my bones, I just have to do it. Like it's like I can't not. And so I think that yes, I need to grow my like a team. And
Yeah.
then oh, there was another thing I wanted to say, but forgot it for a second.
Feel into it. One
Yeah.
thing I want to add to this, as you're growing a team, if you
Mhm.
grow your team for service, when this is your vibrational alignment, like if you're listening to Samantha and you're like, this could be me on the stage, everything she's saying, this is me, this is me, this is me. Grow your team for service. And even when you're bringing people in, let them know this is not a job of things you need to do. This is a job of people you need to serve. Are you in for that? This is all about the people. And like when we look at the Alpha Femme team and who they are, they're not doing things for us to grow the business. They're doing things to serve the clients, and then the business grows. And that is such a different energy.
Mhm. Mhm.
So you could have many people serving you, so you can serve more clients. You could have assistants directly serving your clients. But for sure, the more you're supported, the more you can support. When people are doing for you the things that you need to do for you, then while they're doing the things for you that need to be done, you can be doing other things. So more support, especially for women, this is so important. Like in the feminine energy, I would say, in the feminine energetics, the more we are supported, the more we can support.
Mhm. Mhm.
So that's really important.
Yay.
Did you remember what you wanted to say, or shall I
Oh,
continue?
I thank you. You're so kind. I did, and it was like it's just something I wanted to just add. Like I feel it in my bones that like the millions, like I just oh golly, I'm like, that's so me. Like I am there, like, and it's here that I need to work on to get there. But it's just like it's coming. I know it. I know it. But it's like it's but it yeah, I don't know. It's just like I would love to, buy my husband a Corvette and just do all these things. There's all these wonderful things. But like that's like his dream, right? Like me, I want my horse farm. That's my lifelong dream. I want a horse farm. But
So let's do something together, because the rest of the questions that really were brought forward were like more like, what are the strategy questions? And I think within your storytelling and my interjections, we talked about energetic strategy enough that I would want to do one more thing with you before we close up. I would love to say, why do you think that the thing that's going to create more money for you is here? Why was that the thing? I know that the issue is here. Why do you think it's there?
mindset, I guess that's my answer. I go to.
Okay. Was it really mindset that unlocked the easier days though?
No. Oh, mm. I was just doing my thing. Like it was like I was just like I wasn't in my head, actually. Wow.
So my feeling for you is identity work is going to be the thing. Really anchoring in bigger who I am. Because if who I am is a person who's here to serve and make sure nobody falls through the cracks, then how can more clients not be coming my way? It's who I am.
Yeah.
I'm the one that makes sure you get taken care of no matter what. I'm the one that makes sure if you weren't served, you're going to be served. I'm the one that makes sure it gets done as quickly as you need it to be. I'm the one that makes sure it gets done the way you want it to be. Like, I'm the one. So send me all the people because I got it.
Yeah.
And if I need more support, I'll find people who want to serve with me out, and we'll grow the team and we'll just have more people serving. But this is the place you go when you want to be served. And the more you embody that frequency and the more you realize every move you are making is on that frequency. Even when you say, I'm not following up with you 5 times, because I don't think that's serving you. I think that's bugging you. I think serving you is answering the phone when you call. I think serving you is closing your deal fast so you can move on to other things. So I'm going to do those things.
Wow. I have something that popped up. Oh
Tell
God.
me.
Okay, I think this has happened. I'm like my mom's daughter for sure. My mom works like 8 hours a day still in her 60s. She just works a lot. I'm like, no, that's not me. I'm a projector. I need to work like 2 to 4 hours a day. But serving is a big thing in my business and what I do. But my husband, my work world, my professional world, rocking. I need to have some there, but like my husband's always like serve others, serve first, serve often, and he serves me like crazy. But I think that because I do so much to serve my clients, I walk out my office door and I just like don't always serve him as much. So that was brought up something so interesting to think about and well, contemplate that wow, because he in his love language is acts of service. Mine's um, physical touch, but that's so crazy. He's always like, babe, because he serves me like that. Oh my gosh, like he always thinks of me first before him. And I'm like, and he says, like, babe, you gotta think of others before you think of yourself. And I'm like, no, like to me, you gotta think of yourself. Then you can like help others the best you can too. So we're like, and I just let it go. I don't argue with him on that. But like, that's so funny. Like me walking out of my office and like I put so much serving dedication to my work and my clients and where the money comes through that I really could work on how do I translate that to like boom serving my husband, then it's like wow, this relationship has transformed and is the romance we want kind of thing.
Well, okay, I love where this has gone, first of all. And I can tell you, like, the more Kevin and I went deeper in the relationship, I felt the money respond. And it was something like when we got engaged, when we were really getting, I could feel something was happening between us. And I was going to take my sister to Europe, and I could feel it. All of a sudden, I had my first 6-figure month. And while we were in Europe, I was like, gosh, I think I actually want to get married. And I think I actually want these things. And like, because I had been dating Kevin for a while. Both of us had been really heartbroken in the past, and we'd kind of said, we're not going to do that. And it kind of hit me while I was on that trip. I think I do want to get married. While I was on that trip, he was asking my dad to marry, if he could have my hand in marriage. I landed in Canada. The day I landed, he asked me to marry him, and we became millionaires within 2 or 3 months of that. Like the relationship always, the more the relationship went up, the more the finances grew. And a big stand Kevin and I take is a family first business, because we want to model like families thrive and businesses support the families, instead of businesses thrive and families support the business. We want the families to thrive and the business supports the families. And so if your husband's love language is acts of service, it does actually make sense that he would want to do things for you, and it feels for him like that's serving him at the same time, because it's his love language. And so the difference here is that serving him first for you, like let's say touching him, caressing his back, holding his hand, kissing him, that doesn't feel like something you're doing. It's something that fills your cup. When
Yeah.
he's serving you, it feels like he's serving himself, because it's his love language. Giving and receiving that love, it's his thing. And so it will not be as intuitive for you to serve him in the same way as it's intuitive for him to serve you, but it gets to still be a part of your plan when it's a part of your identity. So if you tell yourself, look, when I'm with my child right now, I serve my child. I feed my child. I wash my child. I cuddle my child. I teach my child. Like I am serving my child. At work, I serve my clients. I serve my team. I serve my people. I serve my profession. I serve my company. I serve. That is not a question. What would serving my husband actually look like? What are those acts of service that he would really feel like, you've got me? And you might find that it's less things, but you could just nail it and do it in the energy of, and this is for you, my husband that's got my back all the time. This is for us. Like I got you. And knowing that you're doing it in that frequency will change the way you do it. Because sometimes we're serving, but it feels like we're doing something for. I got you something. I did something for you. And that frequency is not filled with the same energy as I'm going to do this for you. You know, like I've had with my mom an up and down relationship throughout my life, and we have had fights that are like, I wish I could erase them from my mind, because I just wish I never had them. But I've also, you know, after my mom's had a really hard week at work, gotten down in front of her and washed her feet, because I knew her feet were hurting, and like put cream on her feet. So like we have fought, and I've literally got on my knees to wash her feet. And that frequency is like real service. Like I'll do what you, well, I'll make you right. Like I'll do what you need. I'll serve you. That kind of energy made me emotional for some reason. But I feel like if you really contemplated what's the thing that would make him feel so seen and so served, and it doesn't need to be constant service. It's the things you do in the energy of service that will land for him like you really saw him.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to listen to this again and again, because I'm trying to unlock. I don't like the word try. I want to unlock just such a good relationship with my husband. It's there, and there's so much there. And
I will tell you, like I am like putting a prophecy out into the world for you. There is probably something within you that has this thing where if I make more money, I'll be even less available. And I bet you're blocking your next level of money because somewhere you think you're capped with how much you can do. But it's not what we do, it's how we do it. It's not what we do, it's who we are when we do it. And so you don't actually need to give more, you just need to give differently.
okay.
And I think you will start to unlock, it's going to start to feel like I can be my identity in all the parts of my life. It's safe, open the floodgates. And I look forward to seeing how this unfolds for you and to hearing about more epic, easeful cash months and miracles in your life, because when you're in the God zone, you are in the God zone. And when you're disconnected or in fear or in resistance, people fall through the cracks, which is literally your mission in life, so that no one falls through the cracks. Include him in your mission, include him in your identity, everything will thrive.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for this conversation. I have loved this so much. And I love having um, a different, like, it's not just like a coach or a mentor or a network marketer, like having someone that's like, this is a brick and mortar business. This is like you go to an office or you do the things, it's not a typical personal development kind of thing, and still all the things apply. So I loved this, and I'm so grateful that you came on and you shared your incredible story with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Love y'all.
Okay, so next we have Christy, and we also have Micela. I just want to make sure I'm good to go over. Is one of you like, I'm on crunch time, I've got to go, or are you both okay? Christy, you're kind of on crunch time. So let's bring you forward and let's get started. So share with us, Christy, what do you feel like you want people to know? Tell us your story a little bit.
I'm so emotional about being here today. I'm just like, okay, where do I begin? Okay, so I think what has amazed, so I've been in your world in AFE and now in House of Oats since 2022. So you've been walking with me for years in building my business. But I've built two other businesses before this, and I built them with strategy, and I thought I understood energetics, but I kept listening to your teachings, and I kept thinking thinking I understood it, but I didn't really understand it. And I had this experience. I went back before this call and looked at the dates, and it sort of blows my mind. It was like April 18th, I think, of 2024. You and I had an alumni call, and I brought one of the biggest, scariest, most personal, most intimate core traumas of my life to you in this call. And it was one of the most life-changing conversations I've ever had, still to this date, and probably for the rest of my life. And that conversation forever changed me. And I get emotional just thinking about it. When I got off of that conversation, I sat with it for about a week, and then I made a phone call to the people that I needed to talk to, and I said I wanted to have a conversation. And so it was like, 2 weeks later, I had this conversation with some members of my family, and it was one of the most devastating, heart-wrenching, heartbreaking, and yet beautiful conversations of my life. Because again, I felt like I had you in my ear, and I knew that I was there to just be open and present and allow myself to keep my heart open and stay in love and allow myself to be transformed through the experience that was unfolding instead of try to protect myself and defend myself. And that conversation, it broke me open in a million ways, and it changed my life. It is not an understatement to say I could feel it change me on a cellular level. This thing that I'd been carrying around for 48 years that I had been trying to protect myself from getting hurt. I let myself get hurt. I let my heart get broken, and I let it really change me. And after that call, I couldn't go on social media at all, which was weird. I'd been on social media all of the time, but it was like I was in deep grief. I was in deep healing and, just pouring love and grace and compassion into myself. And I could also feel myself changing. And what I couldn't understand at the time, but I see now, it was identity work. I was literally, because I was willing to and ready to put this part of me down, and I had allowed myself to, how do I say it? I had stopped protecting myself. So like I'm trying to find the right words. I had like allowed myself to be more me and stop being afraid that me wasn't enough. It was that. And in that time, couple of weeks into that process, again, I'm not selling. All I'm doing is I'm taking care of my clients. That's it. I'm just pouring into myself and serving the clients I have with everything I've got. I had a few of those clients step forward, not talking to one another, just on their own. But it all happened in like a 10-day period, no, less, I guess it was a week. All step forward and offer, like ask me if I would create offers for them. It was, if it hadn't have happened, I wouldn't have believed it. It was so weird. They stepped forward, and what they wanted, what the majority of them wanted, was more proximity for a longer time. And at that point, I didn't have anything like that in my business because I didn't think I was worthy of it. And so I became, through the process of going through that, like leading myself through that life-changing experience, I became the match for the one who was what they were looking for, which was long-term, close proximity mentorship. And now that's like 90% of my business, is this like one-on-one, a year plus mentorship. But it was through the process of becoming the one, and then them coming to me, and then my sacral saying yes, like them recognizing me and my identity, and then me saying yes to it, that I ended up having a $39,000 week. Before that, I forgot to talk about money. Sorry. So, but I had been having $10,000 months, and I ended up having a $39,000 week. And I didn't even know it was happening until after it happened. And it wasn't about the money, it like at all. And it like really, even in the conversations about, will you offer this? Will you create this package for me? Even then, it wasn't about the money. It was just the feeling the deep honor and privilege of somebody recognizing that I was the one they wanted to walk with for that period of time. And it just like broke my heart wide open. It really, really did. And it totally changed me, and it changed how I showed up in my business and my life. And um, yeah, I don't even know what else to say about it.
Okay, so again, the reason I brought this story forward is because it's energetics.
Yeah.
And I feel like as we get deeper and deeper into the money, you're going to hear a lot of energetic stories, because I really feel like if you were to ask me what was the difference between 10 to 20 and 20 to 30, it's like it was the energy, it was who I am, it's my identity, it's the energetics, it's like this is what happened. And so what I am just so in love with about this story is something I often talk about, is the frequency of truth. And I say the strongest frequency on earth is the frequency of truth. And what this means is that the truth can block you and the truth can set you free. Because if you believe in every fiber of your being that the truth is that you're not safe if you do this, or people will leave you if you do that, or it won't work if you do this, or you're not going to be able to be a good parent or a good partner if you do this, if that's what you believe is the truth, you will sabotage so many things in the name of that truth. It will be the strongest frequency, more than your desire, more than your prayer, more than your manifestations. The truth that you're not worthy, not capable, not aligned, not that truth will overshadow everything else. And so what I felt it when you were speaking, my heart was just like buzzing, is that conversation that we had was you bringing the truth forward in a way that had never really been spoken before.
Yeah.
It was you naming it in a way that was even in a different perspective than you'd ever thought about it before, as we deepened the conversation. And it's almost like the truth that you'd been holding in without an audience was different than the truth that came out of your mouth when you started talking about it. And I think a lot of times this happens to us. We have this story about ourselves or life or people or what happened to us, and we don't talk about it. And then, or we talk about it with people that are not the right people. And the truth of what we're thinking about feels a certain way. But if we're ever to release it or talk about it to the right people, all of a sudden there's an untangling, there's a different perspective, and the truth starts to change. Now, strongest frequency on earth is the frequency of truth. And so when that truth is altered in your body, your life is different. You're immediately different. So when you say, I felt it change me in real time, it's like, as the truth changes, I change. What's the truth I believe about me? What's the truth I believe about business? What's the truth I believe about money? What's the truth I believe about myself, my worth, my family, what's the truth? As that truth changes, I change. And so what I also love is when you talked about, like, my belief was that I wasn't even worthy of offering the services that my clients came forward to ask for. And so often people ask me, what's the strategy? Like, let's say someone said to me, okay, what's the strategy to have a $39,000 a month with already existing clients without doing any outreach, no cold calling, no DMs, without masterminding an incredible sales funnel? How do I do it? What's the answer? It's like the energetic truth. I am worthy. I am enough. I am serving the people to the best of my abilities. I'm the one. That unlocks things and you don't even need to do anything. But the hard work is am I actually going to tell the truth about this? Am I actually going to get the coaching on this? Am I actually going to get the mentorship on this? Am I actually going to be vulnerable about this thing that I've kept under wraps for so long, and in a public space, and in a, like, am I going to do it? And that set everything in motion. I'm obsessed with this entire story.
And it was one of the bravest things I have ever done, was bring that trauma, that wound forward in what was a public space. And I remember thinking, I think I'm nuts for doing this, but I also knew that you were the one that I needed to sit with and open this up. And this was the pathway to do it. And that the idea of holding it for any longer, it was keeping me in a box I no longer wanted to live in. And
So
so
it's
you can
so interesting that you just said it's so nuts, because I'm going to read you something I wrote this morning. Are you ready?
yeah.
You have to be a little crazy to do what it actually takes to change your life this way, because it's nuts when you think about it. There's a safety threshold for human beings, a limit we don't let ourselves pass, because it's nuts to go any further than that. What if you fail? Like, actually, it'll hurt so bad. So don't do the next big thing. You've done enough. There's a smaller move, a safer move. Do that. It'll hurt less if you fall, right? Because what if you fall? Like, actually, though, better to be safe, right? Better not to go all in. That would be nuts. Meanwhile, on the other side of the chaos, on the other side of the all in, on the other side of nuts, I've got champagne on ice. So, you nuts? I literally wrote this. What are the odds of that? So, like, yeah, it's nuts. It is. But, like, are we a little nuts? I think we're a little nuts. And then crazy, unrealistic things happen that most of the world would be like, how do you do that? And you're like, I could not explain it to you if I tried. The journey it took for me to be the energetic match for that to happen is beyond what you would understand or be willing to do anyway. So go on your own journey. And if you're willing to be nuts enough, you might have a story of your own that looks like this.
Well, and it's not, I think the wild thing that again, I wouldn't have understood until I went through that, is that it's not about money.
No.
Like it truly is about the person you become, and the money is just the byproduct. Because in everything, and I've gone on to, so I've sort of stabilized at $20,000 months, but I've had a $30,000 month, and I've had really, really high cash months. But every single time, it's always been about the self-leadership behind the scenes. It's always been about the person I'm becoming. It's always about my ability to hold the duality and hold the capacity and lead myself through the really hard things. It's never about the money.
No. So look, March 21st, stop focusing on money. Stop focusing on money. Stop focusing on money. If I haven't been asked this question over 50 times in the last 6 months, I haven't been asked once. How did you do it? What shifted? I stopped focusing on money.
Yeah.
Like these conversations are it. And it's so difficult when you want something to not focus on it, because it's like, I need to make it. But you don't make bread by focusing on bread. You don't just go bread, 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 and then all of a sudden bread appears in your oven. You've got to think of all the moving parts that are important. You've got to think about mixing, adding, weighing, kneading, forming, baking, and then bread. And that's the thing, most of us, when we're so gripped to something we want, we just look at it and keep being so focused on it. But it's like, I'm not thinking of the ingredients. I'm not thinking of the way. I'm not thinking of anything. I'm just thinking about the bread. And I don't understand why I still have the same, weight scale and the bowl and the ingredients in order to make the bread are still on the counter, and I still don't have bread. I've been saying bread nonstop. So you got to use the ingredients and think about the ingredients. And that's when things change. And like our biggest ingredient in business is us. So as you need yourself and you mold yourself, all of a sudden the greatest ingredient, it's like we're the starter for the bread. And if you got a good starter, then everything else starts from there. So what I'd love to know for you is like, when you had the first few people start reaching out and they started saying, hey, can you make this package for me? Like when you started realizing this was a pattern, maybe 1, 2, 3 people reaching out, what's starting to shift in your beliefs at that point? What are you starting to realize?
I mean, I think the one thing that I have been excellent about at my business, and I think partially because I started this business a year after being in AFE with you for a year. So I had a lot of these teachings in my head that I knew I knew it wasn't about the short term. It was always about the bigger mission. It was always about the bigger why. And I was and I always have been, and I still am very, very, very service focused. And so I mean, what was so beautiful in that particular exchange was like I felt so touched and so honored, and it broke my heart open. And also just to be able to serve at a deeper level was what I was really focused on. Like I really didn't realize the money piece of it until a couple of weeks afterwards when I sort of went back and was like, what has just happened? Because it really shifted my business model. But it really was recognizing, oh, there's a deeper level of service that they recognize I can provide for them. They see it in me. And I know enough about energetics, and also I'm like deeply in human design, and that's a big part of the work that I do. And I'm a 5/1 and I have this projection field, and I did recognize, okay, they see that I'm the match. And my job is to make sure that I'm feel like it's a yes, because it has to be an aligned agreement, right? It can't just be say yes because someone's offered me some shiny, exciting thing. I had to really sit with, do I feel like I can really serve them and really help them? And I think the beautiful thing, because of everything I was moving through and all the deep inner work I was doing, was that it was a yes. I knew I could help them at that level. And that changed my life. Like the identity that I stepped into through that, really sitting with, oh, I am the one. I am the one. It was beautiful. It was life-changing.
So a couple of things come through from that. And let me know if you need to go like in the next.
I'm good. I'm good till 11:30.
Okay. So this is one of the feelings that I'm hearing from you also, because being a 5/1 is very interesting dichotomy in human design, because the 5th line is supposed to lead and like lead, but the 1 line is trying to figure things out. And so when you're heavily set in your 1 line in human design, you're trying to like figure things out. You're trying to think about it. You're trying to figure it out. And so it's possible for a long time that you could be in this state of like, how do I do it? How is it going to work out for me? What do I do? What do I say? What do I sell? How do I present this? What do I do? Da, da, da. But the thing is, the 5th line, and anyone who has a 5 line in their human design here, like for me, understanding my 5th line changed my life. But the thing with the 5 line is when you started leading yourself, everything else fell into place.
Yeah.
And this is a big key for 5 lines. It's like when you move, things move. If you try to figure things out and it stops your leadership, everything else is held back. It's as soon as you go out into the world owning, I am a leader, that something unlocks. And what I love so much about this is like you led yourself through really hard conversations, you led yourself through all the hard things, and then all of a sudden people led themselves to you in the most easeful way possible. And because you were in vibrational alignment, it was easier to tap into your sacral and to know, yes, this feels like a yes. Because when the truth is all bottled up and we're all mixed up with our truth, it's also difficult to tap into our guidance system. You want to be aligned in your life, you've got to have a clear conduit for your alignment. Like your sacral is clear. You're not a million times a day doing a bunch of things you hate, constantly in an identity that doesn't serve you, trying to make an energetically aligned decision. It's like you moved the cloud You
Mhm.
moved the
Yeah.
cloud. And so then when the sacral hit, you were like, yes.
Yeah.
And the leadership became available. And so these are huge energetics. This is like monumental changes.
Well, and this is what I see all the time behind the scenes is my ability to lead myself, especially when nobody's watching. And I know you talk about this too, right? Especially when nobody's watching in every single aspect of my life, and show up for my clients, show up online. I don't find that I have to sell. Like I don't ever feel like I'm like selling. I'm just showing up as all of me in my leadership and then allowing myself to be of service at the highest level possible all of the time. And when I do that behind the scenes and in the front part of my business, then clients do lead themselves to me. And it's the hardest thing to describe to people who haven't experienced it. It's hard to believe until it starts happening. But that's all I have to do is be in my highest potential, in full leadership, in ownership of my stuff, doing my work, and then allowing myself to not shy away from my 5 line. And I think I've asked you 8 billion questions about my 5 line over the years. And then I was in that very first 5 line mastermind, which was an incredible experience, really learning, oh, I'm not here for everybody. So I need to put that down. That's not my problem. I'm not here to make everybody happy. I'm here to speak the truth at a frequency that the right people can hear me, and to stop playing small and to stop protecting myself.
Oh my gosh, I'm in love with this. I'm so in love with this. And the big invitation here, which I also really love, is to say, when I am in my power, and the power is the truth. Instead
Yes.
of when I'm in my power, but I'm afraid that the truth is that I'm not actually powerful and I'm kind of faking the power. When I'm in my power and the power is the truth, my alignment is different. My center of magnetism is different. Everything starts to change. And when you're saying like, I am who I am and I'm doing what I've got to do behind the scenes and in front of the scenes, that's alignment. Same
Yes.
thing inside, same thing outside. That's alignment. And the other part of this that's also very big is the part where when we're thinking about this context of this call, how often the words serving are coming up, it's like over and over and over again, this service. And so what I love about your example is it's the very same clients you were initially serving that ask you for more. And so a lot of times people come in and they're like, how do I get more leads? You know, how do I get more people to know me? I need more visibility. But it's like, if the people who are seeing you aren't seeing the truth, if the people who are seeing you aren't seeing the real leader that you are, if the people who are seeing you aren't seeing it, doesn't matter how many people are seeing you. But when even just the people who are already there to look all of a sudden see who you really are, you can literally double, triple, quadruple your business from the inside with people who are already there. And I think that's one of the most powerful things about this segment of your story, and why I wanted people to hear it, is like we're a lot of the times looking outwards. How do I sell more? How do I say it better? How do I get more people to watch? Instead of how do I align more? How do I tidy up what's in the way? How do I lead myself? And then how do the very people that I'm already serving lean in for even more from me?
I think the best part of my business and being so service first and mission first, which again was like straight from like sitting with you for a year before I even did anything. And what a relief it is also to operate your business that way. It takes so much of the burden off when I'm like, my job is to serve at the highest level possible and be focused on my big mission. And I really trust the rest of it's going to sort itself out. My retention rate in my business is so high. People don't leave. They just stay. Not everybody, but most of them do. They stay for a really long time. And then it's just about building the next right thing for them. Like, well, what else do they need? And then that will invariably bring in more people from the outside. But I'm always just serving my clients at a deeper and deeper level. And it makes it the most fulfilling work I've ever done because I operate my business that way. And of course, it works out because it's
Yes.
all about my clients. Yeah.
And something came through for me as you were saying this, like, you know, when we say we attract who we are,
Yeah.
a big part of this is like when I'm trying to get clients, I receive clients who are trying to get my service, trying to get something from me. So I try to get them, they try to get me. How much can I get out of you? How much can I get for this amount of money? What else do I get? When I'm in the frequency of serving, I receive people who want to be served by me. And people who receive service and really enjoy it actually stay for a really long time. Like in the service industry, long-term and repeat clients are the basis of a long-term business. So if you're actually attracting people in the frequency of when you are the one that's taking care of me, when you're the one that's offering me your services, I'm so taken care of, it's like, where else am I going to go? But when it's like you sold me because I felt I was going to get something, I'm constantly checking with if I'm still getting something. And if I feel like I'm not getting as much as I thought I was going to be getting, or as if I'm not getting as much as I got in the beginning, if it's all about getting, eventually it wears out and it stops. But service can last forever.
Yes, 100%. I know one of the things, because a lot of what I do as a mentor is alignment work. I'm helping people come into alignment, spiritual entrepreneurs. And I was really afraid to talk about money. It's my 5-line thing. And I was really afraid that when I started to talk about money, that I would only attract people who wanted to get money. Like they would only like come and book with me to get something from me, to be in that extractive energy. And I knew that that wasn't the kind of client I wanted to attract. And I had to really sit with, how do I share these stories and communicate these truths about my experiences and my clients' experiences in a way that is about expansion and like being the evidence of what's possible and being inspiring, instead of come look at this shiny thing and see what you can get from it. And when I'm really, creating content and marketing from that place, I attract the right people. If I'm ever just like, anytime I've even taken a step in the direction of like the shiny thing, I'm like, oh, these aren't not my people. This is not someone that's going to stay with me for 2 years and be interested in doing the deep inner work, because that's ultimately what I do with my clients, because it's what's changed my life and my business. And so, yeah, it's been just such a beautiful understanding that energetics in every single thing is what makes the difference.
So this is fantastic. So now here's where I want to go with you. This is where I want to wrap up with you, because now we want to scale from 20,000. We want to grow this. And one of the things that sometimes gets in the way, and I know this happened for me, is like when most of my income is coming to me effortlessly because I'm serving people one-on-one, there's a limit to how many people I can serve one-on-one. So now my truth that really feels true is that more money will mean more work. And I don't know if I want that. So now I'm blocking more money.
Yeah.
So the thing to contemplate is, how do I bring this level of service in my duplicable offers?
Mm.
How do I bring this frequency of service in my duplicable offers? And working on the truth is, I serve no matter what the offer is.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When that's the
All right,
truth.
let's get going.
Oh, we have another voice in the background. The frequency of truth for us is that if we need to sacrifice to serve others,
Yeah.
it's not for me, for you, for us, we'll block it immediately.
Yeah.
But if the more I serve, the more I get, the more I grow, the more we do, that's a momentum we're going to become a part of. So the way to contemplate now is to say, look, your clients really leaned in and they showed you, here are the things I would like to receive from you. Here's what's important to me. So it's like, how do I deepen those things people really wanted in a group experience? How do I leverage these? How do I serve people with these energetics in a space that's duplicable for me? And that's where I would contemplate, because once you've got the frequency, it becomes much easier to duplicate. And I will say, like, I did this at the beginning of my business. I had a lot of one-on-one clients. I had a lot of one-on-one work. And I was like, I don't want to compromise how I feel with my clients. And I don't want to compromise this. I wore like a badge of honor that all my clients stayed forever. I wore like a badge of honor. Like I wore it all, and I didn't want to let go of any of it. But what I realized was, if I can grow and not compromise my standard here, I'm going to create a unicorn. I'm going to create something the world has like never seen, which is a business that grows with as much heart it started with. Whereas a lot of the companies, they start with so much heart and then all of a sudden they get bought out. They start with so much heart and then all of a sudden people start focusing on the exit strategy. They're growing with so much heart and then all of a sudden it's all about scalability and how less can I work. And so when I looked at how do I scale this in a family first aligned business, a family first aligned way, and no compromising the frequency and the energetics for my clients so that they are served at the same level, that's where the kind of offers that I create came through, from WeAreAF FM to the Alpha Femme experience to House of Oat, really creating containers that people are like, this is exactly what was right for me, and being in that place and being like, this is where I'm best served, or I need more, I elevate into the next level. I want more, I elevate into the next level. But I create these spaces that are based in service that become duplicable. If not, I would still be serving clients one-on-one because of the desire to be energetically sound with my service. So contemplate from that place and the offers will come through to match.
Yeah, I think I see that it is exactly my block, because this year I started with masterminds and I have these beautiful masterminds, but I've capped them at a really small, like 8 people, 10 people, because I think I have this fear that I can't serve at the level that I desire to if there's 30 people or 40 people. But thank you for that, because I see that you do, like, I see the number of people in House of Oat and the depth of service and the expansiveness of the phone calls and the, the mentorship calls.
And
And
what I
how,
will say is
yeah,
the power of one. So
yeah.
what really helped me kind of break through this for me was I had this number in my head for group people. It was 33. I thought I could only hold 33 people. Every offer I had 33 spaces. And then I let there be 34.
Mm,
And then 35. I didn't start asking myself if there could be 50 without it compromising. I got evidence that one person at a time made the room better
mm,
until a new level unlocked. So this is something a lot of people do. They're like, there's 8 people because I can't imagine having 20. But if there's 8 people, but I can imagine having 9, and now there's 9 people and I can imagine having 10, all of a sudden I'm shifting what is true. And as I shift what's true, a new energetic match can be born.
that's beautiful. Thank you.
It is my absolute pleasure. Thank you for this incredible story. Thank you for your heart. Thank you for sharing what happened. Like, I've loved, loved, loved every second of this.
I'm so happy I could be here. I can't, it's just this wild full circle moment. I remember saying to you sometime last year, how could I ever tell this story? I don't even know how to explain to people what has happened, but I'm so happy I could be here today to talk about it, because it changed my life. Thank you for
I
everything.
love you.
Always, always. I love you. Thank you.
Okay, last and certainly not least, it will be Mabel. But I need you to help me explain to the group, because if you've seen this face in your life, you've seen her name change so many times, and it's like, I don't want to pronounce it differently, but I know I'm not supposed to. So can you talk to us about the very uniqueness of your work and then also your story?
Of course, it will be my pleasure. So I'm a numerologist, and I actually took the education when I was 20 years old, and it's 18 years ago. So it has been quite a journey. And actually, this story is so perfect for the in the alignment of today, because actually I could feel like this was my calling when I took the education, and I could also feel like I didn't master anything. And I feel like so many people feel like this is my path, and also like I just don't know how to. I feel like I need to master it more. I'm not good enough yet. I'm not good enough yet, and I felt that as well. I felt like I'm not good enough, and I felt like this is my calling. This is my mission. This is my path. And then I was just like, okay, I just need to be very brilliant at this. So I was just like, let me just go right in and do all the things I need to do in order to master my craft. And so I name changed, like I have name changed myself almost 50 times. so, so, so in order to actually really embody what I'm here for, and actually because it feels like, all the name coding parts for companies and personal name coding, it feels like I cannot offer, name codings for different aspects in life if I haven't tasted, if I haven't touched it, right? So I needed actually, for my own sake and for my clients and for the world, to actually shift a lot, to actually be brilliant at what I do, and that actually came with a lot of trial and error in the process.
So you
Yeah.
use numerology to find the right frequency of name for a person or a business or a thing?
Yeah. So, we all have, energetic blueprints, and in our essence, I'll use the essence equation in numerology, but a lot of you use human design or gene keys, and we also have energetics in names. When you're having a baby, you feel like, oh, this should be Sophia. Oh, no, not that. We feel there is energetics to names as well. So I was just like, I just wanted to understand it better, because everything holds a code. Everything is a code. There was a code for everything, And I went into this loophole with, what do people have that is very natural, fulfilled in themselves? Or what do people have if they are, wealthy people? Or what do people have if they struggle a lot in love life? Or what do people have if they struggle a lot but suddenly transcend it and embody the life of their dream? So I would just want to understand, what is the coding, because there is coding for it. And the more I dive deep into it, the more I just actually crafted my own system, because I actually understood and researched so much that no one could have learned me before, right? So and it was a beautiful journey, because I needed to try everything on. And actually that became an extreme path into success and fulfillment and alignment, because I will come to the deeper stuff later, but it was this sense of, okay, I tried some stuff on and accidentally coded something I didn't knew anything about. And then it was just like, oh, suddenly within 2 weeks, I became wealthy. I was just like, and I didn't knew how I did that. And it was just like, oh, what the heck is happening? And then I didn't knew that I coded it, and then I removed it because I want to try something else. And I just thought that the wealth will stay. And then it just went totally off, and I went bankrupt, and everything was just like this extreme experiment of life. But for me, this was actually all about, I could feel like this is my mission for the world. I'm about to understand something the world hasn't seen yet, and I don't know what it is. And so I just continue going and going and going to actually like fill the gaps all the time. And every time I was just like, this is for the world, this is for the world, I need to continue, this is for the world. And every time it was just like, I felt like every challenge was me getting prepared for what I'm embodying to the world. So I actually took every challenge in my company as mission work, actually, basically. And so it was, yeah, basically that the short story of that.
That's wild. So tell me about your first $20,000 month. When was that?
It was in 2013.
Okay.
And
then
it was I was actually I was living at my mom's place again. I have to move back home because I didn't have any money. I have went bankrupt, and I didn't knew, I couldn't afford anything for myself, not even food. So I moved home to my mom again and my little sister, and my mom provided for me, and I was just so embarrassed, And I also knew that because I'm a numerologist, I didn't embrace the fact that I was a numerologist. I didn't embrace that because, people were always talking about, it's only for the weak ones who change their name to change their life. It's placebo and everything about that. So I was just like, I couldn't stand like tall in my conviction around it. So I was embarrassed about my genius. Actually, that was the first thing. And so I began to work on myself around my conviction in my craft, and actually see it like, I have something here I'm not fully understanding the fullness of, but I feel this is my genius. This is my path. So I was just like, okay, God, this is I accept the mission. I accept my genius, and this is God sent. This is God signed. And then I also name coded myself, and then the first 20K actually was a first. Actually was the first. How much is it in US? It was in days. It was the first million. So it was maybe like 200,000 K month, the first one I did in 2 weeks. And after that, it stabilized and became more 20K months. Yeah.
So there's something big I want to dissect with this, because I think this is very important. I know that there are a lot of people in WeAreAF FM that are starting network marketing businesses, or that are in network marketing businesses and coaching businesses. And these professions, not everyone agrees with them. And it's difficult sometimes to fully own your gift, your genius, or your calling when you're not sure how people are going to respond to it. And kind of what we were talking about before, the frequency of truth. And so sometimes we take on the frequency of truth is, this is not a viable profession. The frequency of truth is, it's not good enough. The frequency of truth is, people will judge me if they find out this is the profession I chose. And when that becomes the frequency, how can we actually tap into and unlock next levels of prosperity and wealth when we're actually attached to a truth that is, this isn't worthy, I'm not worthy, it's not good enough, people won't like it. And so I often see people be like, I'm a coach, but like, I don't want to call myself that. I don't associate with that name, but like, but what do you do? I'm a coach, but I don't want to talk, I don't want to call myself that. Why? And when you really go down to it and really connect with it, the bigger reason people do that is because they think other people won't like it, or they won't get it if you just call yourself, I'm a coach, I'm a network marketer, I'm, I recode names, I'm a numerologist. Like, we're afraid people won't get it. So we make our frequency of truth wobbly. When you do the work for you, you coach yourself on it, you network for yourself, you recode your own name, you do the numerology on yourself. When you reconnect to your own conviction, all the energy moves. And it's wild what starts to happen. And so if a lot of you are here and you know, oh gosh, this is me, I'm here wanting to do this thing, but I'm all in my head about what it's called, what it does, who I am, telling people what I do. This is a big, big piece of the puzzle. So I love that you really did get like a wink from God as soon as you decided, I'm claiming it. It was like a huge month. And then you started stabilizing at $20,000 months. So
Yeah.
what has been, since that $200,000 month and the 20,000, has it been kind of stable since that time? Have you been going up and down? How's that been going?
It has been a lot of ups and downs, and I've basically, because in the beginning I would say naive or something, where I felt like I could just, because it all happened so fast. When I've finally claimed my genius and name coded something I didn't knew what I did, I actually just thought that this is now the new level. Now I don't need to hold it. It's almost like it's just it. Like you think you lose 10 pounds and then it's just like you just have it, but you don't. So I went into a journey into what does it mean to hold this wealth, and also I went down and up and down and up and down and up, but also I did continue the name coding parts, and was actually first in 2018 I actually understood the wealth codes. So, and then I was like, oh, I understand now all the ups and downs and ups and downs. So that was also part of the journey. But also I was very much aware of, because in the numerology industry, that people don't know, people think they know how to name code, but so often that wasn't the match when people change their name. So I felt like, and I feel like this is what we all need to do, like really, I took the responsibility on to really, like, I'm responsible for whatever outcome me and my clients have through the name coding. I'm responsible. So I just need to become better and better and better and continue. And this was why I just continued to name shift. And then I created a new system. But also in that process, it was actually so much about, I found out like it is a whole journey, because I didn't want to name code people into wealth straight away, because people I want people who embody wealth, not just have it. So I went into my whole journey around what does it actually mean to hold wealth, and not only achieving it or getting it or receiving it. It was more like, okay, who do I need to become to actually feel like this is like my core vibration of who I am, and not just something that was like suddenly here, right? So that was also a thing. But I would say the biggest thing in all of this was actually who I needed to become in the process of it. And not take it personally when all the shifts I made went down, and not take it any personal. When really going into like, I'm learning, I'm becoming better at my craft. And because so, sometimes I was just like almost getting ashamed of what is it I'm not getting, since I'm just going down and up and down and up and down and up. And so, but I was just like, no, this is bigger than me. This is bigger than me. This is my mission. I'm here to master my craft. I don't know what I'm doing, but I will find out. I will find out. And then really going into this is, I'm in the learning process of creating this system, and like embodying the wisdom of it through the mastery. And so for me was actually the whole thing in who I needed to become was actually more so like being willing to face failure more than success. I would say it was actually the full thing around actually seeing every failure in the process as a win, because every failure was me getting closer to what do I need to become or name code instead in order to become better at my mastery and my craft. So it was devotion all the time, all the way through. Devotion, just staying the course, like keep on focusing on why I'm here. And it was hard sometimes, but I could just feel like in my heart and soul, this is for the world. So I need to continue with this.
So I have a question for you. What is the pull to the next frequency of numbers? Like, what's your next income goal that keeps coming into your mind?
I would say like it will be like in US dollars, it has to be like something with $5 million cash year or something. I would say that would be my next leap. And
but does the number come in for you in US dollars, or does it actually come in your currency?
Both actually. But it was only last year I began my global journey, so now it's both. So I have two accountants on it. So
okay,
yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm curious, can you do numerology on income goals?
What I do actually, because as we evolve through our entire life, and what I really want actually, I'm less interested right now in what it means to name code to wealth. Of course, I love. It's more like, yeah, I know that now. So check with that. The next evolution is like, okay, the coding, the code for wealth, the full frequency spectrum of it. What does that mean? Actually, to embody that, so it's full frequency alignment in it. So that's more my thing now. In like, so I both code for it and also mentoring in it, so we can quantum leap even faster.
So the reason I brought you up and why I really wanted the group to hear from you is because I feel like you kind of knock any kind of mindset blocks on the head. Like anyone who has any excuses about what they can or cannot do after they've had a conversation with you feels like, I don't know if I can still say any of those anymore. One of the top things people come to me with as a block is I don't live in a country that is prone to people buying this kind of stuff. I'm not from Canada. I'm not from the US. People don't buy that stuff here. And so what I first love about you is that you come from this tiny little place and you did not make that mean anything. You were like, this is where I am. This is what I'm doing. So location did not make a difference. The second thing is that you've done this in your language, your mother tongue. You did not say, oh, I've got to do this in English in order for it to work. And so I have so many people that come into my world, my space, and they're like, not a lot of people speak this language, so I can't do it. Not enough people in personal development speak French. I've had people tell me this. It won't work in French. Like, it won't work in French? You lost your marbles? It won't work in Spanish. It doesn't work in the Spanish community. It won't work in German. It doesn't work in the German community. It won't work. I have had people speak dialects that are so unique that you can literally count how many people in the world speak it, make millions of dollars. Like, there is no limit. And so you come in, your location could be, someone could say, oh, I can't because of my location. Your mother tongue, people say, well, I can't because of my mother tongue. Then a lot of people will say, I have an accent, I can't do it. Like, you've actually gone with a global brand now, receiving money from people all over the world. You're doing it in your mother tongue and you're doing it in English, regardless of any accent. And when people are like, okay, explain to me what you do. So people say, if you can't explain clearly what you do, you'll never be able to sell anything. Only the people who understand what you do energetically actually understand what you do when you explain it. You could literally be so out of touch with energetics that you explain this and someone would be like, you've just spent an hour explaining it to me and I still don't know what it is. But the right people barely need an explanation and they're like, I want you to do this for me. And so you're such a representation of a lot of what the spiritual community actually needs. You're such a representation of what a lot of, women that have a gift, a lot of the gifted community needs, because you're evidence that you don't need any of the things on paper that most people tell you that you need. What you need is strong conviction. What you need is a willingness to experiment with your gifts. What you need is a conviction that even if it becomes that you've messed up or it got hard, that you can take that as, what did I learn from here, and get better from that. What you're an example of is, as long as it's for the world, you'll never give up. And those energetics are really important. The other part, again, and we've heard this multiple times at the 20K level, it's not about the money. It's not about the money. It's about the efficacy of the work. If I'm nailing this and if it's working, then I'm happy. And when I'm nailing this and it's working, I'm being paid. I don't need to worry about it. What matters more is that I'm nailing this. If I'm nailing this, I'm in alignment with the world, the money will come. And if I'm not making money, it's because I'm not nailing this, in which case what actually matters more is that I nail this. That is also the thing that will take a person that literally is doing nothing that the world tells you you've got to do in order to be wealthy and literally make more than a brain surgeon will. Because you're in the right energetic frequency. And what I love about what you shared, you said a lot of people will say, oh, changing your name is like a placebo effect. What's a placebo effect? Belief energetics. That's what a placebo effect is that you believe in something so deeply that it works. So the fact is, whether it's belief energetics or whether it is scientifically proven through alignment with stars, what does it matter, as long as it changes everything? And I feel like I am such a representation of this, because my name up until 2017, before Alpha Femme on the internet, was Melanie Layer. And I couldn't get a website domain because there was already another Melanie Layer. And so I have always had Anne as my middle name. It's my mom's name. And French Canadian people say my name all wrong when they squish it all together. They're like, Milanian. It sounds very weird. And so from like 6th grade, since I was 12 years old, right before my parents' bankruptcy, I pulled Anne out of my name and I was just Melanie. And I just had this feeling when it was time with Alpha Femme, like, I need to have a name that nobody else has. And if I put Anne back into it, I'll be the only one. But when I started going live, I really pronounced my name so intensely so that people wouldn't mess it up. And so you'll realize in my Facebook lives, I'll literally say Melanie Ann Layer. Like, I literally break it down. Melanie Ann Layer coming to you live. And when I get introduced on a podcast, people are like, this is Melanie Ann Layer. Like, they literally say it the way I say it. But calling myself that started to change something in the way I felt about me. And I believe that my name change had a significant impact on myself. It was like a reclamation of my full self. It was me explaining how I wanted it to be set. There was so many things, but changing my name definitely made a difference. And then I've never liked people calling me Mel. Mel is like the normal thing people will call a Melanie, Mel. But Lenny, as soon as I realized like I could be the second part of my name and I changed it to Lenny, I had so many more connections with people. I allowed myself to get closer to people so that they would call me by my nickname that I liked, because I didn't like people getting so close to me that they started calling me Mel. I preferred they call me Melanie. It's Melanie to you. Thank you very much. All the same. So when I had a nickname people could actually call me that I liked, became Lenny. And what I love with Kevin's last name, like as I imagine like Kevin and I with Kevin's last name, it's like I'm either Melanie Ann Layer or Lenny Scott. And those two identities to me are so solid, and I've never felt solid with my name before until I changed it. Is it a placebo? Well, then it would be belief energetics. Is it belief energetics? I don't care. What it is it changed my freaking life. And so I don't care if it is placebo. I don't care if it is whatever it is. What it is a reclamation of power. And so I think in life, what matters is that we are able to find people that understand the power of what we know to be true. And we can make anything happen with those people. I don't want to convince people of what I know. I want to talk about what I know with people who already feel it to be true. That's the gateway to infinite impact and wealth. And I feel like if we don't get in our heads about how to sway people to think like we do, or sway people to believe what we believe, and instead realize there are already people on this planet that believe what we believe. We don't have to work so hard to push, to sell, to show. We can actually just embody, represent, and speak on the frequency of what a lot of people that believe in what we believe, so that we can attract them to us. And so you are just such a permission slip to so many people who struggle with those blocks. You've succeeded without all of that. You continue to thrive without all of that. You continue to evolve without all of that. You just recently decided to go global and to, mentor in English, and you're just evolving beyond what anyone gives themselves permission to. And you're doing what most people will never do because they think they can't. And so whether that's a placebo or not, I'm in no matter what.
Love it. And also, I feel like I actually built my company without building a huge social media representation. So for me, it was like really understanding like, okay, this is inside of me, when I'm so much in my conviction about my genius and my gift to the world, it will spread like wildfire no matter what. So I can brand myself, and I would be happy to do that and expand that as well. But no matter what, people will get the memo. It's like God sent you the clients if you mean it. Like if you want to serve the world, God will find a way to give you the clients. So for me, that has been the thing. And when I think about this full spectrum of clients I have, it's like insane. It's like every kind of, like from single moms with almost no income to like billionaires. So it's like it doesn't matter. It's almost like, and I have always like in like the conversation earlier today, for me has never been like, can I help people? It was actually also, again, do I have something I can serve them with? And yes, I can serve every kind of people. It's just like, if they want me to serve them, I'm here to serve. So that's the thing. So it doesn't matter for me, like, who are you? It's like, I can serve you.
And do you feel you've gotten a lot of referrals in your business?
Yeah, that has been the main thing.
Yeah,
that has been the main thing. And I knew, I also, in my bones, I just knew if I do a really good job with my clients, it will always comes back somehow. It will always like continue like a feedback system in the universe. So for me, it's like, if I can just stay the course with my clients I have, it will, no matter what, expand. It's almost like it's inevitable. And so I actually don't need to believe in like, how do I find my next clients? It's almost like I just beam and radiate into the world with my thing, and then they come. And I love to also say, okay, this is my next thing. This is my new session. This is my new this and that. But it feels like when we serve the world, people get the memo.
Yes. This is another big thing. In the service industry, word of mouth is the #1 gateway to continued success. If we realize we're in the service industry and that the greatness of our service is actually what's going to spread our message or our business like wildfire, the referrals are nonstop. And so what I love about the energetics of your business, again, is like, no matter what I've tried, no matter what has happened, no matter what the up and downs are, I always brought it back to, how do I make this better for the world? How do I serve the world better? Over and over and over and over and over again. And so there are gateways that are like, you love marketing, you love selling, you want to take those gateways. But for some of you, you might find like, I don't love that, or I'm not ready for that, or I feel resistant to that. This conversation was really for the people who want to believe that they can create extreme success without having to go out there and learn a million things they don't necessarily want or feel aligned to learn. If you can go within and go deeper and trust yourself and your own experimenting with your process, you'll end up attracting the things and the people that you need in order to get better and better, because that's part of your mission. So I, again, just absolutely loved your story, loved your example. Thank you so much for sharing and explaining what you do, and really being an example of something so different that people can connect with. And you're amazing, and I love you.
I love you too, and it was such a pleasure. And I feel like I could say so much more, but I just feel like, I really feel like if I could do it, everyone can do it. That's the thing, we could, because it feels like the thing I'm not yet prepared for is almost like life prepares me for it. So no matter what, I will make it. Right? So
Love that energy. I love that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So you guys, this has been, again, another spectacular call. I want to have an opportunity to chat with you guys and give you opportunities to ask questions and have the kind of discussion we had at the 10K mark. And I think that it would be beneficial for us to just add a second call like we did with the 10K, and to open up the question and answers, and to actually do what we did with 10K. So I'm going to schedule another call time for us to do that and to go deeper into the 20K conversations. I just love the difference in the speakers that we had today. Everything from like wealth planning to name coding to deep mentorship. Like, there's nothing that cannot be impacted by serving in their correct energetics. And as you develop your company, as you have a multi-million-dollar brand, if you want to create all the pieces that make it so, you get to learn all those things. But at $20,000 a month, nobody knew me. I didn't even have Instagram. There were like 200 people in the Alpha Femme group, and that was it. I would have 5 to 10 people on my Instagram, on my Facebook lives when I went live on Facebook. I didn't have an email list. Like, it's not the amount of people, it is the depth of your work and how energetically sound you're serving with. Like, that's the gateway. So I'm excited to really dive into that conversation with you and really, help you unlock next level. So we'll let you know when the next call is scheduled for our 20K conversations. But thank you for being here. Thank you to the speakers. You've been incredible. We'll share their information in the group if you want to connect with them and follow them, because they're world class. And thank you so much for everything, you guys. See you soon.
This is the network to be in for conscious female entrepreneurs.